Well, you could call it the little fishing boat that could. A remarkable story tonight about a boat that capsized off the coast of Nantucket and then popped up a continent away years later. 11 News reporter Kai Reed was there as the Queen Bee made its first public appearance in Baltimore. Kai.
Well, Donna, the port of Baltimore has been the Queen Bee fishing boat's resting place after a long and rather unbelievable journey.
I looked to my left and I saw the wave cresting over at the top of our boat. My last thought was, I knew we're both going in.
In August of 2008, Scott Douglas and his brother-in-law, Rich St. Pierre, were fishing off of Nantucket Island in a 26-foot regulator that Scott Douglas had named the Queen Bee.
I was at the helm. Scott was putting the gear together in the back. I turned around and looked at Scott and I said, "Are we all set?" And then we both heard this noise and looked up to the left of us, and there was a wave that was about 5 or so feet above the top of the bimini top.
And the wave was large enough that my last thought was, I knew we're both going in.
Next thing I knew, we were both in the water and the boat was happily sailing away from us under power. And I looked at Scott. I said, I don't think I can make it to shore.
Rich had just had open heart surgery a year before, so his upper body wasn't as strong as his lower body. And if anybody was going to save anyone, I had to go in for Rich.
The last thing Scott Douglas said he saw when he got to shore and he turned around, he saw the Queen Bee was this yellow boat out in the surf, and it was drifting away from him, and that was the last time he saw it. For 3 years and 5 months, it floated in the ocean, and it floated some 3,500 miles northeast to the Bay of Biscay off the northern coast of Spain is where it was found in January of 2012.
We had no idea that this had happened way back in 2008 until Mr. Douglas actually called us. Once we found out that everybody was okay, I was like, okay, now where's the boat? Because we wanted to look at it. We wanted to find out how it held up.
Getting rolled for 3.5 years in the North Atlantic and however many hurricanes and bad storms it went through really wasn't anything I ever designed the boat to withstand. But the main structural parts of the boat, which are the hull and the liner and the console, all stayed intact, and that's what kept it afloat.
And I'm just amazed at the structural integrity of the boat and very pleased with that. And I credit so much of that to the fiberglass grillage system, which not only is bonded to the bottom of the boat, but it supports the liner of the boat as well and completes the box structure of the boat. And I would venture to say if it was a lesser brand with plywood foam-filled stringers, that it wouldn't have made it.
It's a great boat. I don't think there's another boat like it out there, myself.
What was the life of this boat? What has this boat seen in 3.5 years? I mean, all of the boats that it passed, the icebergs that it passed, the countries that it passed. If the boat could talk, it would have a better story than everything I've talked about today.